Welcome to City League Sports, the show where we chop it up talking about all things Columbus City League. Today we got Vikings boys basketball in the studio. The Northland Vikings head coach, boys basketball coach here, Mr. Tihon Johnson, and first team all-city player Rob Dorsey. I am your host, Dr. Vince Clarino. I'm excited to take you on today's journey. Let's get into some storytelling. We're going to start with the young fella today. Say your name, say hello to the listeners, say hello to everybody. Give a little shout out, man.
What's up, everybody? It's Robert Dorsey III with the Northland High School, like he said, 12th grade senior campaign, and shout out to everybody out there watching.
Love it, love it. Coach, go ahead, man. Say what's up to everybody, man.
Tihon Johnson, man. What's going on? All the lookers and watchers. Happy to be here. Happy to get into everything we're going to get into.
Hey, man, I'm excited to have you all on the show. I will say this, right? So at the opening and onset, because I think it's going to help set the stage for our time here today. But like, Rob, you're one of my favorite players. I'm not saying that to gas you up. I'm not saying that to give anything. But like, just over the course of watching, and we've had a number of shows, so you all know this. We've had, and I love everybody that's been on the show. Got love for all you know what I mean, all of our city guys. But Rob, you're just like one of my. I love watching you play. And so I just want to hear from you, because we haven't had a chance to have this conversation, right? Mm-hmm. I want to hear from you, like, what is your mindset when you going into a game? Where do you go? Because I love your energy, your passion. I mean, you seem to be locked in all the time. And I'm going to ask Coach in a minute if you always are like that. See, Coach is smart. So we're going to get two answers out of this, but I'm curious as to where your mind goes when you're out there, man.
I just think about, my presence, what I'm putting on for what people see, what I do. They see what my parents do. They see what everybody around me does. So I'm a reflection of them. So if I don't perform well, then that's a reflection of if my dad is doing the right stuff at home, if my mom doing the right stuff. Or
wow, okay.
Even my coaches.
Certainly. I love that you mentioned mom and dad. As you know, your dad, and this is not why you're one of my favorite players to watch, but your dad is my guy. I mean, I got love for your dad. I don't even know when me and your father met. But we go way back to a time period when we both were younger. And for those folks out there that's listening, some of you all are roller skaters. We didn't roller skate. We purled. I want to make that clear for everybody that's listening. We purled, and your dad used to get down, and we would be at the roller skating rink, man, having a good time. We're talking basketball, but I love that you bring in that energy and representing. And then obviously, so now, Coach, I'm going to turn to you for a second with this piece. Northland High School, Northland Vikings has had, a large body of success if we look at a 12, 13, 14, 15-year type scope, right? Absolutely. And so I hear Rob say about representing family and Northland and all those things. So for you, coming in this year, first year coach, did any of that go through your mind about whatever Northland was supposed to be or whatever it is, right? Does that legacy cross your mind as you're coming into the position, or just coming in first year coach? Like give everybody some insight in what was on your mind, how you arrive here, and then now how do you make your legacy fit, right?
Absolutely. The reputation and the legacy of Northland, precedes itself. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I was fully aware of it. I have personal relationships with a lot of the guys that were, from coaches and players that were a part of that legacy, a part of those championships and that historic run. So, I'm fully versed in it. And then, stepping into shoes of Coach Taylor and Satch, big shoes to fill.
Yes, indeed.
Big shoes to fill.
Yes, indeed.
So, I was fully cognizant of all that. But I know that I'm going to have my personal imprint, and I got my own style, and I know I care about people and kids in the game. So I know, just over the course of my career, the coaches that have been most impactful for me are the ones who really cared, or who really, bigger than just basketball.
100%.
So I just came from that perspective. And then having a guy like Rob, 4-year starter, great kid, great family, man, he made the transition that much easier. Like I don't even know if he knows how impactful he was in that, you know what I mean? So
hey, speaking of like we're gonna get into like nice and good basketball stuff, and I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you played the point also for a lot
of my career.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? But you had sometimes you played the two combo guards. Yeah. You were special. You had a little bit more talent than some other people, right?
Appreciate you.
But you know, I'm a former point guard, and obviously, man, seeing Rob play, I think you nail it in the energy of, like, it's nice to have almost that extension of a coach on the floor. Did you feel that? Could you feel maybe Coach leaning on you to some degree, or did he do like how was, you know, y'all got a new relationship, so how did that work for you as y'all were beginning to figure those things out?
Yeah, I mean, it was a new transition. You know, we would have phone calls outside of basketball. He checking up on me, you know, seeing how I'm doing.
Yeah.
But he told me that
checking in is called love, man.
Yeah.
I'm just sharing that with you. Like, you know, I say that, like, as you get older and you got your buddies and all, I got some buddies who live out of town, and you know, man, like, some days you just got to call them up, right? I'm just checking in.
How you doing?
You know what I mean? How you doing, right? Just to hear your voice, make sure life is doing all right. So it's nice to have, I know sometimes it can maybe, especially in a coach-player relationship, maybe that can sometimes be a little bit challenging, but that's just love. That's my take on it. I didn't mean to stop your thunder.
Yeah,
but new relationship, go ahead, man. Call you, checking in on you.
Yeah, so he had told me from jump, you're a leader, so how far you take us, that's how far we go.
Nice. That's a lot of pressure too, though.
Yeah, so, you know, he said, you're going to have to step up. I know it's new to you. It's new to me too, but we're going to have to work and put this work in to be great.
Well, y'all made it look great. You know what I mean? And here's what I say. Like, you know, I understand championships and accolades and all of that, but it's much bigger than that, what we do. You said something, I mean, like, extremely important for me. You know, like, my staff knows this. You know, I think to work in this space of education, the first box you have to check, and I'm speaking now more to the adults, but the first box you have to check, in my opinion, is you have to, like, care for kids. You have to want to see young people do well, right? Like, and you have to humble yourself. You have to be willing to look past their mistakes. I mean, if I was to be judged for all the mistakes that I made between 13 and 18, come on, man. I wouldn't even be sitting here, right? Mm-hmm. So as an adult, when you're in this space, you have to be willing to look past a young person's growth, because that's what mistakes and growth are the same, right? And I understand that sometimes even what we think is an intentional decision where a kid is making a mistake, but they're still trying to find their path, right? And so when you said that, I kind of like, I wanted to do a shoulder shake like Steph likes to do. You know what I mean? Because it gave me this thought of, like, oh, okay, like, Ty gets it, because me and you haven't had a real chance to talk much. You know what I mean? And so you talked about, like, legacy and style. You mentioned some guys that we got a lot of love for. Obviously, Satch and his contribution to Columbus City Schools and sports is phenomenal, right?
Sure.
Sean is one of my guys. So like we got some episodes that haven't come out yet, but, like, Sean's name now has come up multiple times.
He
right?
gotta get on here.
Like,
he gotta be on here.
Like, Sean keeps coming up, right? And I got a lot of love for Sean. Me and him used to chop it up when he was over at Eastmoor, coaching their program, and then obviously transitioned to Northland. But let's talk about your style, man. So what is a Coach Tihon Johnson basketball team about? Like, what's that about? Like, let's talk about that style.
First things first, I'm a player's coach. You know, obviously, I just got done playing in 2020. Okay. So, you know, I come into it with that mindset, but, man, I demand excellence from you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I want you to give your best effort, you know, your best energy.
Certainly.
Everything else we can work with. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I'm a skills guy. I've been a skill development guy for probably about 20 years, even when I was still in college, you know, just naturally just working on my game and just bringing people along with me.
Okay.
So I'm heavy on, you know, getting better. I'm heavy on, you know, being a team, man, really having each other's back, really playing for one another. Bigger than playing for your coach, playing for one another, playing for your family, playing for your school. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if you get, I've played on teams where we rallied together in the name of none of us like our coach. So what? As long as we can rally together 100%. And play, you know what I mean? Yeah. So Tihon Johnson-led team is always going to be full of energy, full of effort, discipline. You know, we're going to play some defense and we're going to get after it. So.
I love that, man. Like, you know, it's funny you say that, because I say this with students all the time, right? Especially in this high school space. I've spoke to families, and I know a lot of kids and families who will say, well, we don't like said coach. And I get it. We kind of got this energy going on across the country. This ain't a Columbus City thing. Like, you get upset with your coach, and so then you're supposed to transfer or move, or I don't know where this stuff comes from, right? But what I share with young people is that you can have a challenging coach anywhere you go.
Absolutely.
So you think, well, I'm gonna get up and go over here, and then all of a sudden you get over there and you go, well, the person that I thought this guy or this female, this person was coaching is not that person.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I share with individuals and people is that if you stop for a moment in sports and you start to ask yourself, what is it I want to accomplish? Right? As a player, family, self-identify. What is it I want to accomplish, and what do I have to do to get there? And 9 times out of 10, your list is going to be identical to your coach's list.
Absolutely.
So if you just are willing to receive the pressure that a coach is putting on you, you maybe can find that level of success. I'm going to do a throwback for a moment, then we're going to get a little bit into this season. So a couple of episodes ago, and we haven't aired this episode yet, I don't believe, at this date, as we're kind of talking right now, but people will see. We had some Beechcroft basketball players in the studio, okay? We had Armani Lyles, and we had J.J. Simmons in the house, and shout out to those guys. But more importantly, I brought up and shared with them, like, you all, Ames basketball,
Yeah,
like
that was a good
like
team.
20, what was it, like 2015 or 16 or something. There were 9 kids on that team that are seniors right now and contributing at the high school varsity level as seniors at a high, like they're the, some of the, like Michael McConnell, who's over at Whetstone, right? Michael was on, and that's like, right? Yep. And so you and JJ and Armani and on down the line. So like give us a little bit of reflection back on that. Like when you was over there getting it in, like y'all had a squad at Ames that year.
It started off 7th grade year. We was all 7th graders, so we
listeners,
losing.
He's smiling right now. I just want our there's listeners and there's viewers. I want listeners to know you smiling. So this is a warm memory I see.
7th grade year, we are losing to every team. We lost to Indianola. They were like the worst ranked team.
Okay.
So we get a group chat together on Snapchat, and we text and we like, man, we not going out like that our 8th grade year.
Oh wow. Leaders at an early age.
Yeah. So we get together. We had our Coach Rennie Tyson.
Okay.
He was our coach 8th grade year. We was in the gym that whole summer.
Nice.
Getting right. Season come, go undefeated, win the championship. It was
it's a nice memory, huh?
Yeah, it was like a movie.
Hey, I love that you say that. And here's what's more important, because what happens when you're telling stories is that the little nuggets of success, sometimes the listeners, they get overlooked. You just said we were in the gym all summer.
He said we, the whole team.
Yeah,
the whole
we was
team.
in the gym all summer. So like, you know, the beauty of that is that y'all are in there and you're getting better. I want to give shout outs right now to all your parents, because if you're in the 8th grade, it's a mom, dad, grandma, auntie, somebody driving you back and forth to those locations to help you put in that work. But you all made the decision, coach guided you, and y'all were able to come together and put in the work. You know, sports, like all aspects of life, right? But it is probably the best analogy, because you can see the performance on the court, the field, or whatever, is that you're going to get out of it what you put into it. You put in the work, you're going to see those results. There's no magic dust in sports. Like that's the one thing in sports. You can't just sprinkle some magic dust at the season and be like, look, we're the best. No, you can't just be the best if you wasn't putting in the work. And y'all had a squad, man.
Yeah.
And I remember you, but I didn't know how special it was. Like I looked back a few years later and I said, wow. Like I started going down the names and I was like, ding, ding. Like every name was a ding, right? And so it's nice that you can have those types of memories. Now you fast forward, and these guys now have like Northland and Beechcroft, you all are like setting the stage for, like, you know, our North Division in the City League and what that looks like. So how is it competing against, you know, your former teammates, those guys, and what's that like? Just like, you know what I mean? You know, what's the friendly rivalry there?
It's great. On the court, it's not friendly.
No, I love it. Okay,
It's not friendly, but off the court, it's great to talk about. You know, playing against my brothers I've been with since 7th grade,
right?
6th grade actually.
Certainly,
So I mean, it's great. something a lot of people don't get to do.
Right.
So.
You know, it's funny because like, and that's the beauty. If people can understand, like, keep what's on the court.
Exactly.
And it's okay to be competitive and have that fire, right? And want to win, right? And then you get off the court and you can have a cordial relationship. So now we fast forward to this year. Coach, give us a little bit about, like, you know, first games, like practices, that, like, when you starting off, where is your mind at this year? As you're starting off as a coach, and I don't know, I'm asking for myself and for you know, all the listeners and viewers. You know, was this your first kind of like real fundamental coaching? Or I know you've done some other stuff, but how do your experiences, you know, transfer over to what you were doing, and what was it like this year for you?
What was it like? I enjoyed it. I had a great time. I learned a lot. Coming in, my biggest challenge was the time restrictions we have. You know, I come from a level where there aren't time restrictions. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The last time restrictions we had was in Division I, and it still was like, you know, you get an allotted amount of time, and it was way more time. So for me to only have my hands on them for a certain amount of time, I had to get real creative.
Okay.
And we did a thing. Like I said, I'm big on player development, so we went a lot of the year 6 a.m. So I talked to the athletic director and
That's AM, folks.
Yeah,
6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. So I talked to the athletic director and the principal. They gave me the okay, and we had the majority of our guys. Some of them couldn't make it, but the majority of our guys came in there and got better. And then, you know, just for me, I just tried to draw on my experience to create what I wanted to do in terms of conditioning, in terms of practice, and those things. So that was a challenge because, you know, you got 2.5, and we're in the city league where we have one gym. So we got to share it, you know what I mean? So we had to be real creative. But once I think, you know, a couple months in, I think Rob can attest to this, a couple months in, I felt like I had my own way of doing things and was able to put my fingerprint on how we practice, what we emphasize. And there was times when, you know, we adjusted if we needed, you know, depending on who we played against or what the team might be lacking or where we needed to improve.
Right.
I would try to tailor the practice plans towards that.
Right.
And then the end game, honestly, not to sound, you know, cocky or anything like that, I think end game was easier because I know basketball, so
100%.
I could kind of see where we needed to make adjustments and tweaks and stuff like that. And I had a great coaching staff as well, Mike Thornton and Cyrus Smith and guys like that, man. They just helped.
Well, and you know, like you know, you're a basketball guy. I don't think anybody, you know what I mean, even questions that, right? I mean, you know, your time and your name in and around Columbus, for those that know you, because like a lot of people don't understand, in Columbus there's a basketball circle and family and community, right? Like we all know each other
like
to some degree. You know what I mean? And so like you know, like, and even as you graduate and you get older, you'll start to feel it even more because we just make the connection. You know, like it's almost like an eye, like you can just look at somebody, oh yeah, I remember, right? And so we have this kind of energy, and so no one ever questioned that. But I think like at the beginning, I had a lot of people, right? So for me, in our basketball family, right, in our circle of Columbus, people going, you know, can Ty get? I said, well, look, man, you know, here's what I say. I say, Ty's a basketball guy. He's been around the game forever. You know, sharing the player development type stuff that I remember you doing as well. And then like, you know, saying, hey, look, I understand because what people don't get is, you said like the game is easier because the coaching is the management of all the other stuff.
Absolutely.
Right? Like maybe, you know, having to meet with a parent and help them have a discussion and talk to administrators
grade
and kids and all this stuff. And you're like, dang, there's a lot more over here going on than just the X's and O's. Yeah. You know, I looked at some information here, and so from a season, this year, senior year, you all had a game at Olentangy Orange your senior year. You had your season high at 28 that game. Yeah. Smile. Once it look, smile, right? So, but I don't think you all won that game.
No, we lost that game.
Yeah, but I don't think you won that game. So as you're playing, like what goes through your mind? Are you able to transition and go, some nights I got to fill it up, and then some nights I got to do something else maybe for our team to win?
Yeah. So, okay, well, this is a little bit off topic, but
go ahead.
The games before that, I was in a slump. I wasn't doing nothing good. It was spurts, but
okay.
But Coach Ty, you know, our coaching staff, you know, was getting me up, helping me out, making me better. And that game was like a turning point. So it's like I'm in that game and everything's going right.
Okay.
So I'm like, I got it now, so I got to keep going.
Right.
I can't stop.
Yeah. You can feel it.
If I can interject.
No, please.
That was a turning point. So for Rob, he played football, and we knew it was going to be a little bit of an adjustment period. But like he said,
different muscles being used, different body type. Yeah.
I put so much on his shoulders, and I knew he could handle it.
Right.
And I think he felt the weight of that a little bit.
Okay.
And for him, just to be fair, it was a coaching change. He came off a pandemic year. There was a lot going on.
Oh, 100%, man. Yes,
so he started off kind of rocky, but we never lost faith in him. We knew who he was as a player and as a person, as a leader.
Right.
He's not the biggest vocal leader, but he does everything he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
For example. So,
and
that's more important.
100%. There were a handful of games that you all probably saw me, and I would always try to be able to tag my son along when I could, but I made sure I brought him to the games when I was coming to Northland. Not even so much, and no knock to you, Coach, not even so much about your style, but I would sit there and say to my son, I want you to watch him and don't do it. I don't want you to watch anything else. Watch him play, and then I want you to go, when you play, go do what you saw him do. The energy, the level of respect for the game, the love, I'll say this, we kind of mentioned COVID, and this ain't necessarily a COVID show at all, but what's important is that like I tip my hat to especially the group of seniors right now and how resilient you all are. Amazing in my world, right?
Sure.
Because the pandemic comes in your sophomore year, and to be honest, I don't know that a 15-year-old was really old enough to understand what was going on. Mm-hmm. So you kind of 15 and you hooping and you doing whatever and you pandemic, right? And then you're starting to see all of these adults making decisions. Mm-hmm. And then you go, okay, and then your junior year gets kind of knocked over the head because it's not normal, right? Mm-hmm. And then you come back as a senior. So your resiliency and sticking it through was amazing to me.
Sure.
So now, I see the two of you, and one of the things that I share, a coaching player relationship lasts forever. Mm-hmm. You two are connected forever, whether you like it or not, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's almost it's like a marriage, right? You're even if you're not together, you still connected to a person that, right? And so, Rob, you probably hear this, but Coach, we're going to talk a little bit and dig into some of your personal stuff. For the last couple of years, man, I don't know, but you've been running, the Kingdom League, mm-hmm. So the Kingdom League has become almost like a staple. Mm-hmm. Central Ohio, people understand it, know it, and they understand you're the name and the voice behind it. Mm-hmm. But tell everybody a little bit about the Kingdom League, right? And mm-hmm. The energy behind it and your thoughts, and just, I've been a few times and mm-hmm. seen some exciting games. Mm-hmm. So talk a little bit about that.
The Kingdom League, man. Like you said, it's a staple in the community during the summer. I take great pride in it. It came from a place of combining a lot of my passions together. First, the name Kingdom is based off of my faith and what I believe in. And then just basketball at a high level. The Worthington League was the pinnacle back in the day.
Certainly.
And as I got older and became, a college player and a pro, it kind of fizzled out. Mm. And
the landscape changed a little bit.
It definitely did. It definitely did. And then what happened was I was in position to kind of revive it, and I had a group of younger players who were all with it. Trey Burke, mm-hmm. namely.
Certainly.
And man, we just brought it. I'd be remiss to not mention this. I played in a lot of different big cities. Okay. So I went to school in California, so I was in LA, and I saw the Drew League and the Just Say No Classic, which was a Nike program in New York and Chicago. So I played in a lot of places in the summertime, and I saw how important it was, how important summer basketball was to the overall basketball culture. And I just, I had a chance to make something happen, and I did, man, and the response has been incredible, man. Columbus has been totally behind it, and we brought, a number of NBA guys and
certainly
Ohio State players playing it. So, man, I'm just excited to, and for me, I get texts and calls and stuff about little kids, 6, 7, 8 years old, get to meet their favorite players. Or we were able to partner with Reebok last year and do a shoe giveaway and book bag giveaway.
Wow, okay.
So, being able to impact the kids in the community on that level it's a blessing, man. This is a gift that keeps on giving. So I'm thankful that the Kingdom League is here to stay and be able to do the things that we've been able to do.
Yeah, you know, it's nice. You mentioned Trey, and we definitely want to get Trey and even his family, right? You know, on the show here, definitely. And you know, and we as a city can rally behind it and say, yeah, we want to see Dallas win, right? Because Trey's running with Dallas, and you know, what I mean, it's a lot of Columbus-based people doing nice things in the NBA. But you mentioned about kids, and I think that's the part that people like even a Rob Dorsey doesn't understand. That like I'm coming to a game to show my son Rob Dorsey, right? Like you exactly. You don't get that, right? You know what I mean? Until later. You'll grow up and get it, right? But like you don't understand it now. And I'm bringing him because I'm saying, hey, look, this is a guy that's putting it in, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's nice because Trey has always made himself available to Columbus, right? Like as a city, and that's one of the beauties of it, and that's what I love about his story and his person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like he's real. You can touch him, you can see him, you can talk to him. You know, as a young kid, you can go like, there go Trey Burke, exactly. Right? You know what I mean?
And can I say this?
100% like you can.
What you're saying is like a each one, teach one. And I think I'm blessed to have a guy like him my first year because now moving forward, I can always use him as an example and as a standard.
That's right.
Because, Rob, you talked about bringing your son. My first conversation with him was, I know you can score. I need you to be the best defender on our team. All of those qualities that you have on offense should be able to be used on defense. And he was the head of the ball, head of the press.
Right.
Like mostly all. So he did everything I asked for and more. And he had a great second half of the season. And probably, you know, we went on 10 game winning streak or something like that. And he spearheaded that. So from here on out, I'm always going to use him as a standard. Certainly. So I'm super appreciative to Rob for that.
It's nice to be able to have a Rob on your team, sure. Right? And you know, and I know we mentioned about supporting family and those things. You know, like you've just been around it for a long time. What would you say as you're now like you're on this other side as a senior, you're a class of 22 guy. You look back on it. What was the challenge? Was the challenge the first year coach? Was the challenge the pandemic? Was it, you know what I mean? Like for you, does something stand out to you?
Like this year?
Just in general, like you know, over your body of time, man. Like I know that's a lot to reflect on as a, like, you know what I mean. But I'm just curious, like, is there something that stands out to you that as a challenge?
Sophomore year when I broke my foot.
Oh wow, okay.
I had to sit half the season. I played the first half, then we had a practice game before Thomas Worthington.
Okay.
In practice, we scrimmaging, boom, come down on my teammate's foot. Couldn't walk.
Wow.
Couldn't play the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So I was salty. I'm like, it's not that bad. It's just a sprained ankle. I could come back the next Beechcroft game because I really wanted to play that.
Of course, okay.
Couldn't play, and then I was like, man. I started to fall off a little bit. Colleges weren't interested. So I kind of like, I don't say this a lot, but I thought about like stop playing basketball.
Ooh.
So, you know, I was just going to focus on, because I'm in STEM club.
Okay.
So I was going to focus on my robotics and stuff. Some of my friends called me a nerd, but
that's right.
It's all good.
Sign me up. You know what I mean? I say that same thing. Sign me up for all the nerd athletes in the world. Let's get it, right?
Yeah, but I got through that, you know, talked with my family, my coach's family, and just kept pushing. Nice.
Hey, you know, like, I'll even piggyback on young people. Like, you know, like, it's okay to be smart.
Man, it's cool to be smart.
Yeah, it's okay to do well. You know what I mean? Like you not gaining any. And let me say this: it's supposed to be hard, everybody. Like, you know what I mean? You actually have to put some time in. So, no, you can't just, like we're talking about in sports, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. But it's okay to allow, you know, your academic profile to be a part of who you are. That lasts for a lifetime, right? So don't feel like you can wear the nerd, you know what I mean, title with pride. I say that all the time. You know, my daughter calls me a nerd. She's like, Dad, you such a nerd. I'm like, well, you know, baby, I like to just sit down and read sometimes. Like, you know, so she'll call me a nerd. I like to think I was okay in basketball when I was playing. You know what I mean? But I get that. So don't shy away from that at all. It would be my opinion. So you know, like we sit here, the two of you come together. I'll come back to you, Rob, then I'll come to you, Coach. So now, like, give me something your senior year as you like, just something that you're really proud of, or almost like I'm really proud that I was a part of X. And I'm talking about in basketball, not necessarily from a football standpoint, but just in basketball. Give me something you was really proud about this season.
I'm proud of being able to play for Tihon.
Nice.
Yeah, leader in the community, run the Kingdom League. He got big things going on. And I'm glad I could say I was a part of that.
Nice. Okay. It's interesting. Because I share this with coaches, right? Mm-hmm. So then, as I turn to you, I hope that this resonates with you. One of the things that I've learned, man, in education, I say as coaches, like we're at the top of the mountain per se in relationships. Mm-hmm. And here's why I say that: when you're a coach with a young person, you're coach forever. Like for life, for sure. That person is coach in your eyes, right? I still know my high school basketball coach. We worked together at my first teaching post at Columbus Walnut Ridge, where I went to school at, and I remember he said to me, I could call him by his first name. I'm like, I don't even know how to do that, coach.
I feel weird.
You know what I mean? You always coach. And to this day, when I call and talk to him, I'm talking to coach. Coach, how you doing, man? Right? Like you get to carry that title for life, right? And so you can determine what that title is going to mean, in my opinion. So we got some folks out here, like you coach by default, though. You running around, but have you really embraced what that means? And I share that with young people, and I give a quick story for my son. My son was playing basketball, little rec league, 5, 6, 7 years. I don't remember what the age was, but I think it was maybe 5 or 6. And, another parent was the coach, right? I didn't have enough time this one particular season to be able to help out. So another dad, right? And it was cool. But this guy didn't know anything about basketball, right? Like real talk. He was clueless. Mm-hmm. And so I say to my son one day, I said, hey, son, as we were like leaving practice, I said, hey, in that one drill he had you all doing, if you do it this way, you'll get a better result. Mm-hmm. Like I'm doing my little dad coaching thing. Mm-hmm. My son looked at me with all his innocence and said, but Dad, that's not how coach said do it.
That's powerful.
So even in his mind, right, like if this is you get the coaching relationship organically. Yeah. In his mind, he don't care that this guy don't know. Like I'm thinking to myself, this dude doesn't know anything about basketball. I'm a hooper. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I set you down and made you watch videos of me hooping, right? Like I'm a hooper, but in your mind you can't separate that. Mm-hmm. So I love that you shared that about the relationship. Coach, give me something from this season, man, that you're proud about. Looking forward, you know what I mean? Like tell me about something you reflect back on fondly, and then looking forward.
Just reflecting back, man, these guys really bought in. And that means a lot to me. Like, you got to show and prove. Like you said, you got to earn that coach moniker, you know what I mean? And they bought in. Was there some resistance at times? Yeah. But they saw that, like I said, I was trying to be consistent as possible.
Nice.
With my message, with my delivery, with me as a man.
Right.
And they bought in, and we came a little short of our goal ultimately.
Okay.
But I believe the things that we went through as a unit,
right, starting
with Rob as the leader,
right,
they'll be able to all grow and win in life. You know what I mean? So that was powerful to me, man. That was powerful.
Look, they don't like when I do this. I'm blowing it because I'm making sounds. They don't like when I mess up the audio. Wow, that was nice, man.
For real,
man, like I enjoy watching you. They're giving me the signal that we got to wrap up here. I told you the half an hour would go fast, man.
Real quick.
Yeah, it was
you know what I mean?
Can I say this to Rob?
100%.
Leaders are readers, and earners are learners, bro. Don't never let nobody try to knock you off your spot, man, when it comes to leading, reading, and learning and prospering. He's a perfect example, man.
I love that right there, man. I can't say that any better. It has been an honor to sit with the two of you, man. Nice. Rob, I say this, right? Like, man, like I can be a little giddy with you here because I'm a fan of yours. Like, so on top of being in the role that I am, I'm a Rob Dorsey basketball fan. I just say that real talk, right? And I love all of our kids out there. So everybody, and I still want everybody to come on the show, right? Rob, I just drew to your style, man. I loved watching you play. I'm a fan of your basketball and what you brought, in your time and your demeanor. Coach, I'm happy that you're now on this side, man, and blessed that you're, you know, we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but you're a Columbus East High School graduate, you know what I mean? And I remember back in the day, like, I remember guys saying, I got to go see Tihon to see what it was, man. So you've put in a lot of work. You know, we're at the end of a show today. Like I said, it goes so fast, right? Yeah. But I appreciate and love the nuggets that you all shared with us this afternoon. I got to read after. I don't have it memorized, so I got to read it, right? So
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we appreciate you too, man.
That's all we had for today, everybody. So thank you for listening. Much respect to you two gentlemen being here with us today, Northland Vikings basketball. Be sure to catch all future episodes on radio WCBE 90.5. Also catch us on Spotify, Apple, or the platform you prefer to listen to your favorite podcast. Additionally, check us out on Instagram, City League Sports 614. I'm your host, Vince Clarino. Northland Vikings basketball, Coach Johnson, Rob Dorsey in the house, man. Much love to you all. Appreciate it.
Likewise. Much love.
Certainly.